High above a dusty village road, on the twisted branch of an old neem tree, lived a young crow named Kael. He was strong, clever, and faster than most birds in the sky, but he had one weakness that followed him everywhere like a shadow. He hated waiting. Kael wanted food first. He wanted the best branch first. He wanted to fly higher, reach faster, and win sooner than every other bird. While older crows observed the wind before flying, Kael leaped into the air without thinking, while others waited for the right moment to swoop down on grain scattered by farmers. Kael rushed, often startling humans, dogs, or even missing his chance completely. One summer afternoon, when the heat shimmered across the land like waves of fire, Kael spotted something shining near a farmer's courtyard. A bowl of fresh water and pieces of bread sat unattended. Without hesitation, Kael dove, but he wasn't the only one watching. A large kite circled silently above. The older crows noticed it. They stayed still. They waited. Kael did not. The moment he landed, the kite descended like a falling blade from the sky. Kael barely escaped, losing a few feathers and his pride as he scrambled back to the safety of the tree. The older crows said nothing. They simply watched him catch his breath. That evening, an old crow named Arden hopped beside him. His feathers were gray at the edges, his eyes calm and knowing. "Speed is power," Arden said quietly, "but timing is wisdom." Kael scoffed at first. Waiting felt like weakness. Waiting felt like losing. But the next morning brought another lesson. Dark clouds gathered over the fields. Farmers rushed to collect crops before the rain. Small insects began to rise from the ground, sensing the storm. Kael saw them and instantly dove again, eager to grab as many as possible. He chased too fast. The first heavy drops of rain struck mid-air. The wind shifted violently. Kael lost control and was forced into a muddy field, soaked and shivering. Above him, Arden and the others remained sheltered, watching the pattern of the storm. When the rain softened and the wind calmed, they flew down together and found even more insects emerging from the wet earth, easy to catch. That day, Kael caught less than anyone. Something inside him began to change. Days passed. Kael started observing instead of reacting. He watched how shadows moved before predators appeared. He noticed how farmers always returned with more grain at sunset. He studied the wind before spreading his wings. Then came the hardest test. A traveling merchant stopped in the village with a cart full of fruit. Bright red pomegranates rolled onto the ground as he argued with a buyer. Every bird in the area saw the opportunity. Young birds rushed immediately. Kael felt the old urge rise inside him like fire, but he paused. He remembered the kite. He remembered the storm. He remembered Arden's words. Instead of diving, Kael waited. The merchant's dog suddenly sprang from beneath the cart, barking wildly and chasing the rushing birds away in panic. Feathers scattered in the chaos. Kael stayed still. Minutes later, when the noise settled and the dog retreated under the shade again, Kael flew down quietly, alone. The fruit was untouched. He ate in peace that evening. As the sun melted gold across the sky, Arden looked at him and nodded. Kael finally understood. Patience was not about doing nothing. It was about choosing the right moment. From that day forward, Kael was no longer the fastest crow in the sky, but he became the wisest. Other young birds began watching him the way he once ignored the elders. He still flew high. He still hunted well, but he no longer chased every opportunity, because he had learned something greater than speed. He had learned that rushing often costs more than waiting, and sometimes the one who waits wins without fighting at all. Don't rush your life. The right moment always rewards the patient heart.